What is going on, everybody? It's France, and we're here for a Smackdown live review for February 12, 2019. Smackdown going to air just in the nick of time, as tonight's second hour was legitimately one gauntlet match between Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and due to injury of Mustafa Ali, who suffered a concussion this past weekend, Kofi Kingston of the New Day was given his spot. And with the way the match went, it was an interesting match, and the person who was the Iron Man, it's kind of a bummer for Mustafa Ali to get injured, because Kofi Kingston took his spot in that match, and Kofi Kingston became the Iron Man of the match. He was there for almost an entire hour, beating Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy, and Samoa Joe in that order before finally losing to Jeff Hardy. No, not Jeff. I'm sorry. It was Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy. I'm not Randy Orton. Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy, then Samoa Joe before he lost to AJ Styles, and then AJ Styles lost to Randy Orton. And it's a bummer, because what does that do for Kofi Kingston in the long run? Nothing. It does nothing for him. The guy is a made man. The guy, everyone knows Kofi Kingston. He is one of the more over guys with the New Day. This would have been this would have been Mustafa Ali's spot. Mustafa Ali would have been the one to beat Daniel Bryan, then beat Jeff Hardy, then beat Samoa Joe, and then go on to face AJ Styles after Samoa Joe took him out. This was all supposed to be Mustafa Ali, and that would have been huge for a guy like Mustafa Ali, who just joined the Smackdown Live brand 2 months ago. So it's a real bummer that he had to be down due to an injury. But all I gotta say is the way things look and the way they build Mustafa Ali up as being this guy who keeps getting up after getting taken out and taken down and knocked down, they have got to get him to be the guy to face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. It's just a perfect story. This guy from 205 Live comes in, keeps fighting to get to the top, and keeps fighting, and eventually, just Daniel Bryan takes him down, Samoa Joe takes him down, Randy Orton kicked him in the head. Did you see the picture after last week's SmackDown Live episode with his clothes? That was disgusting. His eye was completely swollen shut, and I honestly I'd almost follow him, but somebody retweeted it, and I clicked on the picture, and I was eating something. Luckily I wasn't eating anything at the time, because I wanted to just throw up with how nasty his eye looked. So I hope it was speedy recovery for Mustafa Ali, and it's got to be Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali at WrestleMania. The thing about WrestleMania this year is that you have one match, and that match right now is Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, even though I think it should have nothing to do with Charlotte Flair, but that is what WWE wants to go with. People are speculating, why is Charlotte Flair put in this match? The only fucking reason that Charlotte Flair is anywhere near this goddamn match for Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and herself is because Vince wants her there. She is the Vince McMahon appointed woman of the women's roster. She has to be there for everything. I am totally surprised that she was not the first woman to win the SmackDown Live and Raw Women's Championships. That went to Alexa Bliss. I was surprised that they didn't find a way to get her into the Elimination Chamber last year, because they want her to be the first of everything. I'm surprised she wasn't in the Royal Rumble last year, so she could be known as one of the first women to wrestle in the Women's Royal Rumble. Vince McMahon wants her in the main event of WrestleMania. That is it. It didn't matter. The only way Charlotte Flair does not make the main event of WrestleMania is if by some mysterious way, or by the wrestling gods, she sustains an injury. I'm not asking for that. I do not want that. But that is the only way, if it was an act of wrestling god, to stop Charlotte Flair from making the WrestleMania main event. That is the only way. Unless that's either that or something comes from her past and comes out from her past that she's been hiding, that would just wreck her career. Other than that, there is nothing going to stop Charlotte Flair from being in this match. After what we saw last night, I still say it should be Becky versus Charlotte one-on-one. Fans agree, because on YouTube they posted the video of Vince McMahon appointing Charlotte Flair, taking Becky out and putting Charlotte Flair in, and it has the most dislikes in a WWE video ever. All the videos they put up. The only one that comes close is Roman Reigns after WrestleMania 33, after he beat The Undertaker and said 5 words, "This is my yard now." So that's why people, and that just shows how much people really want to see Charlotte. And of course, tonight's show started off with Charlotte Flair. But before we got to the show, they did have a nice little graphic for Pedro Morales, who did pass away today at 76. So thoughts and everything going out to the Morales family. And moving on here, Charlotte Flair makes her way to the ring for mostly boos. Charlotte Flair looks at the WrestleMania 35 sign and says this is her destiny. She wishes she could say her heart is breaking for Becky Lynch, but it isn't. Fans chant for Becky. Flair goes on about Becky and says she will know, we will all know that Flair is the backbone of the division, the franchise player. Flair says she is a winner. No, I guess you can say, yeah, she's the franchise because that's what Vince McMahon appoints. Vince McMahon, and to anybody who still believes that bullshit promo that Vince, Shane, Steph, and Triple H came out the night after TLC and said, we are the authority, we're going to give you what you want and not give you what you don't want, last night proved you all wrong. This is not, we have never been, like, no, they don't care what we think. They don't care what we want. They don't care about all that. They care about what they want. They have their agenda, and Charlotte Flair is a part of that agenda. That's why we are going to see Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, which leaves, and before we go on, this leaves Asuka in a bind. Where has Asuka been since Royal Rumble? I haven't seen her anywhere. I don't mind the fact that she's not in a title match at the Elimination Chamber. Not every title has to be on the line at every pay-per-view. But you could at least have her on TV, have her in one of those backstage segments, those little, things where it's like Asuka, like the name Asuka comes up, and then she says something or whatever. She should at least be seen on TV. She's the Smackdown Live Women's Champion. Where the hell has she been for the last 3 weeks? I fully expect her to have a championship match at Fastlane because after Ronda done with Ruby Riott, who does she have to face going until WrestleMania? Nobody. So Ronda defends her title at Elimination Chamber, and Asuka has her title defended at Fastlane. The only time every championship should be on the line is WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Survivor Series is the champion versus champion matches, so you're not going to put the titles on the line there. And then, of course, Royal Rumble has the Royal Rumble match, so not every title is going to be on the line. The only two pay-per-views that should have all the titles on the line is WrestleMania and SummerSlam. That is it. Now, continuing on here, Flair says Vince McMahon chose her because he made a smart business decision. Vince chose a future Hall of Famer over someone that's just had a few good months. Fans chant for Becky again. Flair mocks Becky for not coming out. Says, if I point to the sign and I chant Becky's name, will she come out? Oh, she didn't come out. That's a shame. She says, Vince chose her because WrestleMania is the biggest match of the year and he's not going to risk it on a flash in the pan like Lynch. Flair says we may not be happy with Vince's decision, but she can promise WrestleMania will be like every other pay-per-view she's main evented. Everyone will be standing there feet doing this is awesome. This is awesome. Flair tells everyone to go ahead and boo her now. You're welcome. Flair says she dedicates this match to her best friend, Becky Lynch. She goes to leave, but you start chants start up. Flair brags about main eventing WrestleMania. Flair says she has a front row ticket for Sunday's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view between Ruby Riott and Ronda Rousey. Flair promised Rousey she won't interfere. She's just going to scout the match. Flair says maybe we'll get a new champion and Flair will get a new WrestleMania opponent. Tells everyone to shut their mouths and exit the ring. Now, the only positive about this entire thing right now is the fact that Charlotte Flair is in the right role that she should have been in since this entire Becky Lynch thing started at SummerSlam. WWE tried to make Becky Lynch a heel. Becky Lynch has only been a heel once in her entire WWE career, and that was back in NXT. When she was, being the Irish dancer who comes out. She was teaming with Bayley against, I believe, Sasha Banks and somebody else, and I think it was Sasha Banks. I think it was Sasha Banks and Charlotte. I'm not sure. And she turned on Becky on Bayley, and she became a heel, which gave us the steampunk version of Becky Lynch that we've had for so long. Becky Lynch is not a heel. Becky Lynch should never be a heel. Charlotte Flair should always be a heel. She is not a good babyface. She has never been a good babyface. She is always better as the bitch heel who does what she wants and says what she wants and has the ego. This is where she should be. But I will say this till the end. Becky Lynch should be facing Ronda Rousey. The only way they get out of this with this triple threat match is you make it an elimination match and Charlotte is the first to go. They can say, oh, she was in the first women's main event, but we get Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, and Becky beats both women. You don't have this thing where it's like Ronda Rousey taps out Charlotte Flair or Charlotte Flair's this or that. No. Charlotte taps out to Becky Lynch, and then Ronda Rousey taps out to Becky Lynch. That's where this goes. And there is not going to be no "this is awesome" chant if we get to WrestleMania and it's Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey and Becky is nowhere to be seen. If that is the main event, you think Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar last year was bad? This will be 10 times worse. People are going to be chanting, "This is awful, fuck this match, we want Becky." Becky chants all around. Vince McMahon will rue the day that he decided, oh, well, we're just going to leave Becky Lynch off. The only reason that I can see them not having Becky in this match is if she's legitimately injured, and she's not. She's not. We can just throw it off the table. That was a stupid storyline that they brought up just to, try and prolong this because WWE's creative is terrible. Now, honestly, with next 2 weeks from yesterday, we are going to have a Ric Flair birthday bash. And of course Charlotte's going to be there. It's her dad. They're going to not keep her off of that show. Who's to say Becky Lynch doesn't, quote-unquote, purchase a ticket to that Monday Night Raw? Who's to say Ric Flair isn't put into the disarm her to piss off Charlotte Flair? And who's to say that Becky Lynch doesn't get her suspension lifted and added to this match after the Elimination Chamber, or doesn't get added to the match yet, and this is simply how they're going to do it. Because it's been advertised that Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair is happening at Fastlane in 3 weeks from Sunday. I'm pretty sure it's 3 weeks. Who's to say we don't get Becky Lynch to return and take out Charlotte Flair's dad, and then Charlotte tells Vince to lift the suspension. I want Becky Lynch at Fastlane, and at Fastlane, if Becky Lynch wins, she's added to the match at WrestleMania, and then we get a triple threat match. Charlotte was not needed. Charlotte's not needed at all. Asuka needs an opponent, and that opponent should be Charlotte Flair. If you want to make it so Asuka doesn't get beat, I still say this moment should happen. Becky versus Ronda. Ronda loses to Becky. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda versus Asuka versus Naomi versus Carmella versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. 6-pack challenge for the Smackdown Women's Championship. Charlotte wins that one. Bayley and Sasha Banks, whoever the fuck they face at WrestleMania for the tag team titles, if they're the tag team champions going in. All 4 members of the 4 Horsewomen have the championship gold. The tag team titles and both women's championships are in the 4 Horsewomen's possession. After Becky wins the main event, Charlotte Flair comes out doing the whole golf clapping. They shake hands, they hug, whatever. Out comes Bayley and Sasha Banks. All 4 women hold up championship gold and then flash to 4 with the other hand. WrestleMania ends with the 4 Horsewomen showing that they dominate women's wrestling like they should have been doing since day one. Why do I say since day one? Because when Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch all came up in 2015, the original plan was those 3, Charlotte was supposed to win the Divas title, and those 3 women were supposed to dominate the women's division for the next 6 months or whatever. What got in the way? John Cena and Nikki Bella crying to John Cena, and John Cena using his creative control to get Nikki Bella to be where she was at for as long as she was. It's gonna take a while, but if you would do this and you would have both women, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, win the women's championships, and you have Bayley and Sasha Banks with the tag team titles coming out of WrestleMania, and the final image you see as they go to black is all 4 horsewomen in the ring, raising their titles and flashing the 4 horsewomen, There you go. The domination of the 4 horsewomen is confirmed. That's all you need to do. That's it. It was a good promo by Charlotte Flair. She's playing the right role that she should be playing. But again, she should be going to WrestleMania to face Asuka, not Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. I'm hoping that WWE figures out a way to do this, but they're doing things so wrong. To anybody who thinks that Vince McMahon is listening to us, that Triple H is listening to us. Triple H may listen down in NXT because that's his domain. And we're going to talk about something this Saturday, about something at the shareholders meeting last week that I kind of missed and finally got, was the fact that WWE officials say that Vince McMahon gone from WWE will be catastrophic, and we'll shit on that then, but we're going to talk about that. After that, we got the as we know, last night we had a triple threat match. The losing team would be the first team to be in the Elimination Chamber match against a Smackdown team. You had the Iconics versus a Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I like that name, by the way. I like the name of Fire and Desire. That is a great name for their tag team. Versus the Fabulous Glow of Carmella and Naomi. Again, good tag team name. At least we have tag team names. It's the one thing I fucking hate when you have tag teams, men or women, going for titles and it's just like you have Shane and The Miz. I guess they're the best tag team in the world. Or like when Sheamus and Cesaro are just called Sheamus and Cesaro. They are the Bar. Or when, let me sing here, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler were tag team champions. They didn't have a tag team name. If you're going for tag team gold, get a fucking name. You have the Revival. You have Authors of Pain. You have the Usos, the New Day, the Bar. Get a fucking tag team name. It's just something that pisses me off when you see two people. And the reason I say this is because when you have two people holding tag team gold and you don't have a name, you don't have a legitimate name, you don't look the same, you don't dress the same, you don't look like a tag team. It just looks like they're like, oh, we don't care about the tag team titles. Let's get Jeff Hardy and let's get Rey Mysterio, put them together, they're tag team champions. No, it's stupid. Basically, this match was Fire and Desire versus the Fabulous Glow because the Iconics tagged out of this match like immediately and did not get in this match whatsoever. Fire and Desire end up losing this one to the Fabulous Glow as Naomi hits a moonsault onto Sonya Deville for the 1-2-3. After the match, the Iconics beat down the Fabulous Glow to give themselves a little bit of an advantage. Do I really care? No. After the match, though, Tom Phillips says, let's show you what this match is going to look like. They show us a graphic of Boston Hug Connection and Fire and Desire in the middle of the ring in the Elimination Chamber and show where each of the other teams are going to be. I'm like, gee, are you just going to show us the order of which team comes in next, what team is 3, what team is 4, which team is 5, which team is 6? I hate how much they do this. I hate when we have like this. Tonight was the gauntlet match. The winning team, the winning person of the gauntlet match would be the final member of the WWE Championship match. I fucking hate that. One thing I like about Elimination Chamber is you have the unpredictability of when somebody's going to enter. I don't want to know who starts. I don't want to know who ends the match or comes in last. I want to know who's in the match, and that's it. We have 12 women in this match. We know the first 4 competitors and 2 tag teams. You have Bayley and Sasha Banks, hopefully, versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And then you have the other 4 in the pods, even though we know where each one of them is supposed to be. Why? Why the fuck are we doing that? It's stupid. Leave everything as it should be and leave the surprises for when we get to the match. Even though, as we know, there is, and you can watch it on WWE's YouTube page, the men's tag team championship elimination chamber they did about 4 years ago. It was the Ascension versus Los Matadores versus the New Day versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro versus the Lucha Dragons and the Primetime Players. And I actually remember all those off the top of my head without even having to look it up. That match was absolutely fucking horrendous. It didn't help that the New Day, all 3 members were in that match. That was during the New Day's tag team title reign that lasted, I should say, tag team title reign of terror, because they had to break the, the Demolition's tag team record for being the longest reigning tag team champions, even though it's 2 different title belts. That match was horrendous. This match I don't think is going to be any better. Tag team, it should 6 men or 6 women is fine. 12 men or 12 women, in that case 13, is absolutely fucking ridiculous. No reason, it's too much for the chamber. I mean, yes, the men's last year for the right to go to Wrestlemania to face Brock Lesnar was 7 men. I would be fine with 8 in a singles, in a championship opportunity or a championship match. You have 8 superstars starting in a match. You have 4 to start, 4 to come in. That is fine. 12 women in this match, it's going to be awful. With the fact that you have Tamina and Nia Jax, who can't fucking wrestle worth a shit. You have Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose is okay in the ring. She's improving. Sonya Deville is there too. The Iconics, who are absolutely irrelevant in this match. The only ones who actually fucking matter in this match are Bayley and Sasha Banks, and Banks is hurt. So this match has the makings of being one of the worst elimination chambers out there ever. This match better open the show, last 20 minutes, and that is that. Yeah, Miz TV with the Usos really didn't give a shit about this one. Miz and Shane McMahon get super kicked in the face to end that segment. Don't really care. Miz and Shane McMahon are probably going to win the title, keep the titles going into the Fastlane pay-per-view and lose them there. In my opinion, the reports of the Usos leaving, contracts up in April, I hope it's true. And quite honestly, I hope the Usos leave WWE. These guys deserve better than The Miz and Shane McMahon as tag team opponents. If I was any tag team, anybody on these rosters who love tag team wrestling, and you see Miz and Shane McMahon as tag team champions, I would be pissed and want my fucking release like that. Someone, JD from NY206 put a tweet out earlier today. I can't use Twitter right now because I got in trouble for tweeting something that abused their policies, and I'm banned for a week, but that's none of the business. But he tweeted a Usos versus Lucha Brothers, take my money. And I was like, I can agree with that. Yes, I could actually agree with that. I would love to see the Usos versus the Lucha Bros at Double or Nothing or All Out or whatever. This was just cringe and not something I wanted to watch. That was your first hour. The second hour, as we explained, was a gauntlet match. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy versus Kofi Kingston in place of Mustafa Ali again. Bummer that Mustafa Ali is out for at least a couple weeks. He does have a concussion, and WWE could not get him cleared in time. So everything that Mustafa Ali would have done tonight was done by Kofi Kingston. And I have no problem with Kofi Kingston being the Iron Man of this match, but again, what does this do for Kofi in the long run? Does Kofi have a chance to win the WWE Championship? It would not surprise me if, by sheer dumb luck, Kofi was to win the WWE Championship. I don't see that happening, but that would just be something I could see WWE doing, because it is the Elimination Chamber and they can just change it up if they want to and then give the title back to Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. But tonight, Kofi Kingston ran the gauntlet, and he ran 58 minutes and lost to AJ Styles in the few seconds left. I was watching this, and Kofi was facing AJ Styles, and I'm like, when AJ Styles ran down, they went to commercial break, and I'm like, and this is what I seriously thought was going to happen. AJ Styles is going to lose to Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston's been in this match for almost an hour. Randy Orton's going to come out of nowhere, RKO 1, 2, 3, and he's number 6 in the pod. I was off by just who won the match, who won before Randy Orton came out. AJ Styles ended up beating Kofi Kingston, and then you hear the music. AJ Styles with dumb babyface syndromes looking at the Titantron and the ramp and just like, come on, he's like getting pumped up, and out of nowhere, RKO 1, 2, 3, and that was that. What more else can you say? Who didn't see that coming? This match was good. Was it better than what we got last year with Seth Rollins? No, that one lasted 2 hours, and Seth Rollins went like an hour and a half. Kofi Kingston went almost an hour, but still, you can't fault the guy. But in the end, what's it going to do for Kofi Kingston? I don't think anything. Before the match, though, champion Daniel Bryan is out with Eric Rowan. The winner of this match will be entered the Elimination Chamber last. He takes the mic and says there's a lot of people who want to see him lose the WWE title on Sunday inside the Elimination Chamber. Bryan says the truth is those fans are lying to themselves because they are all fickle. Bryan says those fans need someone like the new Daniel Bryan to show them how to live their pathetic lives. Bryan goes on about how hard the chamber is and says it will likely take time off his career, which Daniel Bryan has enough taking time off his career, so I don't know why they want to put him in the chamber anyway. Bryan talks about sacrifice and says this is needed to keep his WWE title. The music interrupts and out comes the New Day, Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston. They gather around the ringside in the platter of pancakes, and looks like it will be Kofi Kingston after they do a little bit of teasing. Big E looks like he's going to go in first, then Xavier Woods, and then they give it to Kofi Kingston. I know a lot of people would have been like, wow, why don't we give it to Big E? Would have been to make sense, with the size of him and how he is strong. I would have given it to Xavier Woods. Honestly, other than winning the WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston has done everything in WWE possible that he could do. He really didn't need this spotlight on his career. Honestly, in my opinion, I would have given it to Xavier Woods and had him do this whole gauntlet run Kofi Kingston did. It would have been great for Xavier Woods. It would have been great to see him go out and do this and see what he could do. So having Kofi Kingston go in there, it's like, what does this do for Kofi in the long run? It does nothing. When the Elimination Chamber is over and Kofi Kingston isn't WWE Champion, he's just going to go back to being part of the New Day. Well, I guess you can say the same thing for Xavier Woods or Big E, but I still think that this gauntlet match and the Elimination Chamber would have been more beneficial for an Xavier Woods. I still think Xavier Woods is highly underrated and the most underutilized version of the person in the New Day. Everyone knows what Kofi can do. Big E is the powerhouse, and Xavier Woods just, for me, sometimes feels like he just gets lost in the shuffle of the New Day. And majority of the time, he's the one sitting on the sidelines, while especially in tag team matches when Kofi and Big E are the ones tagging it up. I honestly think it should have been Xavier Woods in this match, and he gets this gauntlet run. Everyone would have been still would have went crazy for it, but they gave it to Kofi Kingston, and I'm not mad about it. It's just I think it would have been more beneficial for a guy like Xavier Woods. Let me see here. I'm not going to go all over this match. These guys went about 20 minutes themselves, maybe 25. Let me see here. Rowan gets involved in ringside with a shot to Kofi, but Big E runs over and makes the save. Rowan fights Big E off, but Woods drops him. Woods checks on E as the referee ejects both of them from ringside. He does not eject Rowan at the time. This leads to Bryan getting a close 2 count on a distracted Kofi Kingston. Bryan unloads with the kicks in the corner now, but he goes down. The referee is distracted with tending to Bryan, allowing Rowan to attack Kofi and throwing him into the ringside area, the timekeeper's area. The referee didn't see the attack, but he figured it out, and Rowan was sent to the back. Bryan brings Kofi back in, but he runs into a trouble in paradise for the 1-2-3. Kofi Kingston eliminates Bryan, and next comes Jeff Hardy. These guys had another. This match didn't go as long as, not even close to as long as Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. Back from the break, and they're going at it. Hardy mounts offense and goes on the top for a swanton. Hardy leaps for it, but Kofi moves out of the way. More back and forth between the two. Kofi with a few close 2 counts. Kofi goes to the top rope, but Hardy cuts him off and works him over. Hardy climbs up for the superplex, but Kofi resists. Kofi knocks Hardy to the mat. Hardy comes back swinging and he crotches Kofi. Hardy lands, climbs back up for another superplex attempt, but Kofi keeps fighting back. Kofi knocks Hardy to the mat once again. Kofi leaps out for a crossbody, but Hardy turns it into a 2 count of his own. Hardy blocks Trouble in Paradise, but Kofi comes back to the SOS for the 1-2-3, and that is it for Jeff Hardy. They went about 5-10 minutes maybe. So Kofi Kingston, just quick work of Jeff Hardy compared to what he had to endure with Daniel Bryan. Next came Samoa Joe, who, if I was going to have somebody have a reign of terror, I think Samoa Joe, and I hope Samoa Joe has a good showing in the Elimination Chamber. Is he winning the Elimination Chamber match? Probably not. Most likely not. But if he can get at least like an elimination of Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton or something, it would be great for Samoa Joe. Let this guy have a good showing in defeat. A little bit further into this match, Joe gets furious. Joe grabs Kofi Kingston and drops him on his neck. Joe grabs Kofi off the floor and locks in the Kikina clutch, pulling back onto the floor. Referees run down and try to break the hold. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the end. That's before the match. That's after the match. Joe with an inverted atomic jock before that, as some fans chant his name. Joe takes his time working Kofi around, taking him back down to the mat and keeping him grounded with a knee to the back. Kofi fights out of the hold and kicks Joe away, but Joe comes right back with a senton to the back. Joe covers for a 2 count. Kofi fights back with the apron now, but Joe knocks him down to the floor. The referee counts while Joe regroups in the ring. Kofi crawls back into the ring, and Joe can't believe it. Joe twists Kofi's neck and keeps him grounded by his neck. Kofi fights back up, out of it one more time, but Joe catches him in the Kikina clutch. Out of nowhere, somehow Kofi runs into the turnbuckle, steps up, kicks backwards, and gets the 1-2-3 as Joe has been eliminated. Joe does grab him and knocks in the Kikina clutch, pulling him to the floor. Referees run down to try and break the hold, but Joe keeps it locked in. AJ Styles music hits and he comes out. Styles attacks Joe and breaks the hold, freeing Kofi. AJ rocks Joe and gets him back up the ramp. Kofi looks to be laid out as ringside as AJ Styles checks on him, and we go to commercial break. AJ Styles, you figured, AJ might take this. Like 2 years ago, AJ Styles would have taken this advantage and had taken this and probably moved on to face Randy Orton as the finalist. But no, AJ Styles, being the gentleman that he is, allowed Kofi Kingston to get back up. Kofi Kingston is given time to recover. He's checked again by AJ Styles, and AJ tells him you don't have to do this. And Kofi gets up and says he's waited too long for this. Kofi goes on yelling and forces AJ's hand, and AJ drops him in the middle of the ring. AJ goes to work on Kofi, now dropping him with a backbreaker for a 2 count. Tom says Kofi's been in this match for 52 minutes by this time. When we get closer to the end of this match, Tom says Kofi was in this match for 56 minutes. Kofi looks for another comeback, but it doesn't work. Eventually, AJ goes for the calf crusher. As Kofi passes the 60-minute mark, AJ drops Kofi into the calf crusher, and Kofi taps out as he's been eliminated. Fans give Kofi the standing ovation as E and Woods come out to help make his exit. Music hits, out comes the final competitor, Randy Orton, as AJ Styles watches the stage, waits, but Orton from behind with the RKO for the 1-2-3. And Randy Orton is the 6th and final competitor in the Elimination Chamber match. They came so close to running out of time that as soon as Randy Orton hit the RKO in the 1-2-3, his music hits, arms goes up. You see the 205 Live title card for It's Coming Next on the WWE Network, and they cut to black almost immediately. They ran out of time. They timed this thing to hit 10 o'clock immediately. They might have went over a minute too. Kofi Kingston lasted 60 minutes. This guy, like I said, this would have been Mustafa Ali. Randy Orton was going to probably win this regardless. He was going to win this regardless, but this was going to be Mustafa Ali's part. Do you know how big this would have been for a guy like Mustafa Ali? This would have been huge. And it's just a shame that he had to get injured. It's a shame that he has to miss the Elimination Chamber. I'm sure Kofi Kingston is going to do well in the Elimination Chamber match, but it's just a bummer that Mustafa Ali, somebody who they put some stock into, and I'm hoping this is a one-time occurrence with the concussions and stuff, and he can get back on his feet, because honestly, I'm still saying that him versus Daniel Bryan should have been your match at the Royal Rumble. That should have been your match. But now, I want to see Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Will Ali win the match? More than likely not. But I would love to see Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali at WrestleMania. And what a fucking fucking way for that to go. That would be a hell of a story too. And this is what makes sense. Last year, on the WrestleMania pre-show, kickoff show, Mustafa Ali was facing Cedric Alexander for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship for 1 year. And he could be challenging for the WWE Championship. Let that sink in right there. This is the reverse of what's happening with Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura went for the WWE title last year after winning the Royal Rumble. 1 year later for Nakamura, no plans for him whatsoever. He's going to probably be in the Battle Royal that will be on the kickoff show. So, just seeing Mustafa Ali get the reverse of that and possibly be going for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I'm not the only one who thinks this either. But could you imagine? That's just the perfect story for them to tell. Ali last year going for the Cruiserweight Championship, failing at WrestleMania's kickoff show to be one of the main events, SmackDown's main event. That is just a story that is perfect for WrestleMania. It is perfect for WWE. Make it happen. That is perfect. That is your SmackDown Live review. It was a good show because of the gauntlet match, Charlotte Flair being in the right position. Other than that, there really wasn't anything else. There was 3 segments. It was 4 segments. Charlotte Flair's opening segment, the Triple Threat Tag Team match, the McMiz and the McMiz TV, whatever, and the gauntlet match. Not much more you can ask for. Hour 1 was okay. Hour 2 was the better part of the show. But let that sink in that if Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali, after all this is said and done, is your SmackDown main event match, that is a hell of a story to tell. 1 year after facing and being on the kickoff show, Mustafa Ali, and I'm not the only one who thinks that, and I hope this is WWE's thinking, and hopefully it can happen, but Mustafa Ali facing Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship on the main card. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I'm getting out of here. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at TheFrance. Follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. I will be streaming the Nintendo Direct tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow for NXT. As we go, we have Adam Cole versus Ricochet in the main event, and we are 1 week away from Velveteen Dream versus Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. I cannot wait. Until then, I'm getting out of here. You guys have a good one. Thank you to everyone who watches any of my videos, and I will see you guys later.